which means I do no longer have to go for yearly checkups for cancer. So that is a big celebration for me. And the second biggest one was that we celebrated my mother's 100th birthday.
Wow.
And I am still, rolling through that event. So that was some of my events in 2017, and I trust that you guys had a good 2017 too. Well, what I'm going to roll on to is let Rashida share with us about the path to independence freedom. Okay, Rashida, you are on.
Yes. Okay, so do you know that most heart attacks happen on Monday? The thought of going back to a place that is literally killing them. Do you hate your grumpy boss, your paychecks, your tiny paychecks, office politics, gossip, things that make you sick, literally?
Can I answer that?
Yes.
Oh, yes, most definitely.
Well, if that answer was yes, there's a reason why you feel this way. Did you know in the thesaurus, another word for employee is slave? And I bet you didn't know that.
No, I did not know that.
Not a lot of people know that. Okay, so my name's Rashida Sokolov, and I'm here to help save you and your family's life. I'm here to show you how to reclaim your life and generate a 6 or 7 figure income. And it's basically using a method that works. First, let me tell you about myself. I'm a mother, and I have a husband of 17 years, and I have 3 children. I own several businesses, including an online corporation. One day I was working for a company as a temp and hated the way that they treated me. The minute that I took up for myself and I was tired of being talked to, I got fired. So I vowed never to work for anyone again. So I go on vacation anytime that I want to and make money while doing it. And last year, by this company alone, I received a $500,000 business plan after I'm done with training. I went to 8 cities, including Maui, like I mentioned before, and New York City, to learn about digital marketing and also vacationing there. I don't make any phone calls, and I don't sell anything. I work where I want to, and I don't have to worry about any boss breathing down my neck.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What is one of the major roadblocks to people not pursuing the pathway of financial independence? And part B of that is, what exactly is financial independence?
Okay, so to answer the first part of your question,
yes.
I believe that its number one thing is fear. You're scared of the future, and you're not willing to take a risk and pretty much be comfortable, live in a comfort zone where there's no progress.
Okay.
So the second part, what was the second question?
What exactly is financial independence?
Okay, so financial independence is just like I mentioned before. You don't have to worry about a boss. You don't have to worry about where your next money is going to come from. You also make a lot more money rather than being settled into a small hourly wage.
Now, with that financial independence, does there come responsibility? Is there more responsibility on you, being that you are now financial independent?
Actually, I think it's more laid back.
Okay.
Of course, you don't have a boss there that, tries to motivate you.
Yes.
So, mentally, your drive is your children, your family, any goals that you've set for yourself. So like I said, like I was going to mention here, is that all you have to do is just write down your list of goals that you actually have for yourself. And you could dream big. You could have a house on a hill. You could have a yacht if you wanted it. You could have, several rental properties. You could have anything that, unfortunately, we've been taught that we have to get a job, go to school, and retire off of in order to survive like this. And I don't think that's the truth.
Now, is that just the American dream, or is that the worldwide vision?
I think it's a worldwide vision, actually.
Okay.
I guess since we are Americans, we have been taught, certain things, just like I said, go to school, get a job, and then retire off of it. But, statistics show that let's say, for example, you get an MBA.
Yes.
You can make up to, coming out of school, or average, $20,000-$30,000 a year.
Okay.
And all the way up to $50,000 a year. I'm sure that you've met people who've actually had high-end degrees not doing what they're actually supposed to in it.
Which is true. And that means that they are either underemployed or not employed.
Based off of fear.
Now, I have a question
Being
for that.
homeless.
Because what motivates some people to pursue a degree in something that they know it may not grant them what they want, or it may not even be their passion or their desire? Or are they doing it because they want to please their family?
Exactly.
Or the community? I have a saying that I like to say. Now, you probably have heard this saying, it takes a village to raise a child.
Mm-hmm.
I have a saying where I say, that same village can tear the child down.
Yes, it can.
So I'm stating that sometimes the values in the village can be such that it constrains you from moving out. So you become a slave to your culture. What is your take on that?
Exactly what you said. There's a lot of competition throughout families, and who's better than who achieved this, leaves a lot of pressure on, unnecessary pressure on other, siblings or, cousins to, become something that, they're not built to be. So based off of this, financially, independence, you don't have that competition. You don't have, like the anxiety, the depression, all the stuff that comes with, competition, if you want to say that. Sometimes it leaves people with a low self-esteem as well.
Now, I'm going to throw a little hot iron in here. And some of you ladies may start throwing tomatoes at me. But I have a question, and it's this. We live in a society where it says that the man is supposed to be the breadwinner. So what happens when the woman becomes the main breadwinner?
Well, in my marriage, I've been married for 17 years, like I said. Wherever my husband slacks off at, I'm his backup.
Okay.
So I lift him up in areas that, he cannot lift himself up, because everybody's only human.
Okay.
I was a housewife for about, I want to say probably about 10 years, and
Okay.
I didn't work. And there were some times where we would reach, a financial downfall, like he would lose his job or something like that. That's another reason why I took on purchasing a digital franchise to actually help him out with.
Okay. Do you think that the average male here in America may feel threatened by his wife being financially independent, that she's really the one that's controlling all the cash?
I think we do wrestle with this too. I think that just like I said, where there's bills to be paid, and as me being a housewife for so long, I've actually sat back and saw what he had to do to take care of the family. So it's kind of like a payback. I love to, in a way, please him like that.
Okay.
Just to help him out, whatever he wants to do, buy gifts, whatever. I would love to see us like that.
Well, that's a very good model. Now, with that, since we're talking about the path to financial independence, what role would that kind of teaching and instructions play with setting our children on a path of financial independence?
Well, actually, I've been teaching my children how to go into cryptocurrency.
Could you explain what that is?
Okay, so cryptocurrency is a worldwide currency that people trade from different countries without being tax burdensome. In addition to that, there's like this huge craze going on with Bitcoin, and you know how much you invest in any coins that you decide to research to actually become, you know, a lot more independent. So, for example, there was this one guy I was talking to, and he said, you know, you really need to look into cryptocurrency. And just like your question was like, what is it? He actually gave me a similar answer to what I mentioned to you. And he said, all I did was put in $80 and I made $1,500 in a week.
Is that the same thing as investing in the stock market, or
It's
is there a
similar.
differentiation?
It's similar, but it's currency.
Okay.
It's not actually, you know, buying into equity
Okay.
as if, you know, a stock person would actually do.
So how would the average individual find out about this currency?
You could go on to Coinbase.com
Okay.
and it'll teach you everything that you need to know. There's several marketing schools that you could go to that are online. You could look at that.
Okay.
You could check out YouTube. There's a lot of information about it.
Well, I find that interesting that with all the information there is out there in the world about this, how come I'm just now hearing it?
Yeah, a lot of people do that. Like, I mean, I don't understand it. Like, when I learned about everything, you know, digital marketing and, you know, franchises that are already built, they're kind of like McDonald's, except they have all their products online.
So hence that's where the name digital comes from.
Yeah, digital.
Because it's not brick and mortar.
Exactly.
It's not hands held.
Exactly.
It's non-tangible.
Exactly.
Now, you mentioned the word digital marketing. Did I just answer what that was?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Because when I throw that word out there, digital marketing, some people get a blank stare on their face.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's way different than the traditional marketing that we've been used to for so many years.
Exactly.
Especially if you're my age. I'm over 60, so I'm from the old school of marketing. You know, when someone comes, you become a salesman and you're knocking on people's doors. And do they still sell vacuum cleaners door to door?
I don't know. I know they don't sell encyclopedias anymore.
Okay. I guess our information age took that away.
I guess that told us our ages.
Yes.
What I was going to say was, it's not necessarily selling people stuff. It's actually helping them get out of their financial burdens.
Okay.
So I think it's a pretty silly question to ask, do you want to stay in the situation you're in, or do you want to get out of it? You know, automatically, whenever people do that, they're like, you know, well, I have to, you know, invest in this, that, and the other. How much money do I have to spend? And they'll automatically put up that block. It's kind of like if you go into a department store, and like if you go by the perfume part, and you know people are like practically spraying the product in your face. Do you want to buy this? Hurry up, buy this makeup, buy this, buy that. You know, it turns people off.
Yes, it
So
does.
it's not. It's something totally different than that.
Now, I'm hearing you say about the department stores, and they're about to become dinosaurs.
Yes.
However, we all get inundated with these emails that do the same thing as the perfume spraying, where you're just inundated with these emails, these pop-ups saying, here, buy this, buy that, you want to get rich overnight, etc. So haven't it just switched to a non-tangible field?
Yes, and actually, what you do is, ask the person, what are your visions? What are your goals? What are your financial goals for the future? And let's say they would say, I want to make $40,000 a week. I had some guy actually say that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, so I have a product that actually could help you achieve that. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much desire do you have to achieve that $40,000 a week? And they would say, within 1 to 10.
Okay.
And then like, what are your other goals? What do you plan to do with the 40,000? Also, what else? I could help you add that residually to your account every month.
Okay, now you just answered a question that I had on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I had this thought in my mind, and it said, Paul, what are you going to do with your first $1 million that you make? So with that financial independence and you're growing and getting more money, you have to have a vision, an additional dream, and plan to do with that extra cash. Correct?
Exactly.
So I think that's where a lot of us fall short, is that we want that financial independence, but we haven't laid down a plan how to effectively and safely and wisely distribute those funds.
Exactly. And for more information, you can visit my website. It's www.advancewithrashida.com. It'll give you all the information that you need for stuff like that. We're updating it, currently, but you'll see the new one probably within about 3 days from now. But yeah, I remember the Bible saying, whatever a man thinks, so is he.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think, then those things will manifest in your life. So if you think that you're already a millionaire, you have to put the goals into the line to actually put them into place so they could actually manifest in your life. Those things will be added to you.
So what I hear and what is true is this, that the desires in you are in you, okay? No one didn't put them in you, they are there. Sometimes the environment stimulates those things to come to surface. And sometimes the dream or desire can be so powerful in you that even a negative environment can't stop it.
Mm-hmm.
It won't.
You're right.
Now, I'm gonna share something with you. When I first saw myself doing television, I was a young kid, okay? But the vision was there. I saw myself before cameras. I saw myself doing all this stuff, but it was not yet manifested. But it was there. That deposit was there. And so we have to continue to listen to that inner voice, that desire that's deep down inside. Even if your village says you'll never amount to anything, oh girl, you dreaming. You know that's not for you. We have to overcome all these obstacles.
Rid them.
And I want to say something else about financial independence is that we have to have that self-discipline that I said earlier, because it's so easy to say, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy that, I'm going to buy this, and we never really give thought as to why we're buying that item. What do you take on that?
Well, I think it is to stay up with the Joneses, keep up with the Joneses, so to speak.
So do you
or
have,
the Kardashians right now.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think it's all about your mindset, what you deserve for yourself. You don't have to become literally in debt. If you know that you do not have the funds for it, do not purchase it. Invest it into something so that one day you could actually, receive your reward.
Now, I'm going to throw a hook here. Mm-hmm. Now, there are some people who believe that when you become financial independent, you should automatically upgrade your standard of living. But what if you choose not to upgrade your standard of living? To the eyes of the people, you may not have financial independence, but you do because you choose to still live at a certain level. You don't see a need to move to Malibu or to West Hollywood or wherever, but you choose to stay where you are. And you're comfortable living in that grade, yet you have great financial independence. What is your take on that?
Well, I read a book, and it's called The Cash Flow Quadrant. And this guy, he talks about when he actually hit like the 8-figure mark, how he looked around other people, and they were literally broke with all like Mercedes Benzes and mansions, and they actually could not keep up financially on the circumstances that they actually, the stuff that they actually purchased. You know, even Powerball winners, for example.
Yes.
You know, they always say that, you know, they become broke in a certain matter of time because they weren't financially educated first in order to take care of those things. So I was thinking about this thing. I was looking on Wikipedia about Warren Buffett.
Yes.
And Warren Buffett, he actually purchased a house, I want to say in the 60s, and it's a basic house, and it was probably for about $30,000. He still lives in that house today.
Good.
Yes. So those people who have those lavish lifestyles on the surface, if they don't take care of their finances appropriately, they're going to be broke. So, I mean, what is the purpose of it? I think it's just like, you know, chasing a cycle that is unnecessary.
So, to throw another little devil's advocate in here, if you have a spouse who doesn't want to be financially independent, who just wants you to spend, how do you combat that?
Wow. See, it's funny because the roles are reversed in my marriage. I've changed my way of thinking.
Okay.
You know, I was that person
Yes.
when I was probably in my 20s. Me and my husband, we went on a lot of like vacations and stuff like that. We had to slow down because we had children.
Okay.
So I'm learning how to invest now, just like I mentioned before, invest so that, you know, material things aren't going to be, you know, number one thing on my list. I think that has to do with your esteem too.
Okay.
You know, perhaps some people with the low self-esteems actually get these things to actually make themselves feel important.
Okay. Well, that's kind of interesting. I do have a question on being financial independent as a senior or a baby boomer. Perhaps you are a senior or a baby boomer who didn't really take care of your finances, and now you're in your later years of life. So is there still hope that they can become financial independent?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Anybody could do this. You know, it depends on, you know, your work ethic, not worrying about, you know, your retirement plan. Whenever you retire, you know, from based off of a job, you know, you still have to pay taxes. And unfortunately, some people are not going to be able to live comfortably off of that. So, you know, with old age and, you know, issues like that of the, you know, physically, you know, some people aren't going to be able to work. So this is another thing with the digital franchise. Like I said,
Yes.
I don't sell anything. I don't, you know, make any phone calls. These are things that are ideal for baby boomers too.
So in essence, then the baby boomers or seniors who are confined to a senior home can actually be doing digital marketing right from where they are.
Yep.
So I have a question for you, and we're going to wrap this up, is could you share one thought or point that you haven't already to get those who may be interested in financial independence to get more interested in?
Well, you could contact me by Skype. I also have a Facebook page. It's Rashida Sokolov. Um, I also have an Instagram page. I have a page on Facebook. It's called Successful Business Maker. I have several franchises on there that I've purchased into that I could share along with other people. Um, that's about it. Like, I think we've covered like everything.
Okay.
I do have another website. It's called www.promotewithrashida, and it has to do with email processing. It's another digital marketing program that I've actually came across that helps with those who do not have a lot of resources to invest in, but it will get you the similar outcome.
Okay.
So,
All right. So, well, I'd like to thank you for coming on the show today. And as my motto is for this year, living in freedom today. You know,
Yep.
we're granted one day at a time to live, and it will help knock off a lot of stress if we really live that way. However, I'm going to close out today's show, and I just want everyone there to take to heart this statement, live. I mean, I can't help but express it. Living and freedom today. For today is all that you have been given. Let us unwrap this present and see the gifts that are going to flow into our lives today. This is Paul Eugene. I will see you next time.